Well, I guess my view on this important issue is that if you're going to be eating pizza, you might as well also have fried chicken on top of the pizza.
Bloomberg News reporter Sarah Fryer joins us now via Skype with more of the highlights. And Sarah, this is the second public Q&A that Mark Zuckerberg has done. We've seen over the years him get much more comfortable handling some of these questions from the public. Why is Facebook doing these Q&As this way?
Well, he actually answered that question a little bit in the last Q&A. He said that he sometimes doesn't like the fact that a lot of his communication with users happens through journalists or analysts, journalists who likes journalists, right? So he really wanted to have an opportunity to connect with people directly, sort of the way that Facebook does in their regular town hall meetings that they hold with employees, where anyone can come ask a question, and then it's just really as open and honest as they can be.
Can you talk to us about the structure of the Q&As? Does he know these questions in advance? Does Facebook select these questions?
He definitely knows some of them in advance, and some of the questions were certainly prepared. People flew in to ask the questions from various states and countries, and we're there just in Menlo Park at Facebook's headquarters just to ask the questions. So, and the rest of them, he asked openly on the thread on his Facebook page for people to give whatever questions they wanted, and other people would upvote them, and some of the most popular ones were answered.
Sarah, I was also really intrigued at his sort of thoughtfulness around this notion of a dislike button, which anyone who has ever seen something when tragedy happens in a family, a death or whatever. You want to show your sympathy, you can't click the like button. But he's thought this through, and the negative implications, the ramifications of such a button might have on his business.
Yeah, he really doesn't want to create any reason for people to cause more negativity on the internet. He really wants to have a positive experience for people on Facebook. So a dislike button doesn't make sense, because he thinks that would use people would use that to downvote other people and say, this post is stupid, right? But an empathy button, or maybe something for those situations when a family member dies, or somebody posts a important story about something that's just socially or culturally sad. He wants people to be able to react to that in a way beyond comments, but they haven't quite figured out how yet. So that might still be to come.
And I do want to share a couple more of his answers. He was asked specifically about parenting and whether kids under 13 should be using Facebook. Take a listen to what he had to say.
If you have a platform that is anonymous, it's a lot easier for people to do harmful things to other people than if you're using real name, and if you're connected to a lot of other people who are also using their real identity in the community. But I think, to answer your question, I would follow our rules. So we don't allow people under the age of 13 to use Facebook. So I would not allow my child under the age of 13 to use Facebook. And then after that, I would probably talk to them about it.
So he wasn't asked when he himself is going to have children, which I know is a question a lot of people have. The other interesting question he got was about mistakes he made early on. Is there anything that he would have done differently? Take a listen to his answer to that.
The mistakes that we've made in running Facebook and building it, I mean, there are many. I mean, I started off when I was so young that I didn't know anything about building a company or a product or any of this stuff, and I've learned so much from the people around me. And making mistakes is a lot of how I learn. So I guess just you got to keep on powering ahead and don't stress too much about it.
He got a lot clearer there all of a sudden.
He did get a lot clearer.
His messaging, I mean, is a lot
Sarah,
clearer.
what do you make, of his answers to some of these questions? Does it seem genuine to you?
Well, yeah, one of the questions I've always had about these tech executives who have created a new way for people to communicate is whether they ever have these moments of oh my gosh, I've created a monster, right? When they see like the cyberbullying that happens on Facebook, and he did point to that. So I thought it was interesting for him to say, follow the rules, no kids before 13. He kind of has to say that. But, when you think about children and technology, don't ban them. He said society is sometimes a little too overbearing with children in preventing them from becoming, used to technology and literate with it. He reflects on his own adolescence and how much technology helped him get to where he is today, and he felt like he was pretty proficient and he understood it. So he really doesn't like that society has this idea that people should be banned. But of course he can't say that children under 13 can be on Facebook because that's the rule.